Hello everybody, my name's Nerdy Lover, and welcome back to our football betting series here on YouTube. This is the Serie A edition. We went 3-2 last week, but somehow still lost. Let's quickly recap the games before we get into our selections for this weekend coming up, the 29th and 30th of October. On the Friday night, we took Juventus to beat Empoli at odds of slightly worse than 1-2, £20 stake returned £8.40, and our first win. We were tempted by taking Inter Milan straight up, but we decided to be conservative and go with the option of laying Fiorentina. Inter Milan did win the game. We picked up £8 there. So we were up 16.40 at that point, but we did take a £20 hit on the Sunday as Udinese failed to beat Torino. So unfortunately, across the three bets, we did take a £3.60 hit, which means our record for Italy, we're still doing pretty good. 78.90. 78.9 rather is the record amount that we're up by. We're sitting at a 69.23% win rate, which is fairly nice. Total for the month is £40 and 5 pence. And without further ado, let's jump into the games for this weekend, the final weekend in October for Serie A. Our first selection sees table-topping Napoli hosting 9th place Sassuolo. Napoli come into this game following a 3-0 midweek victory against Rangers to secure qualification to the knockout stages of the Champions League. They also won recently in Serie A by 1-0 against Roma thanks to Victor Osimhen's strike 10 minutes from time. This does mean that Napoli have a 12-game winning streak in Italy and they're unbeaten in each of their last 27 competitive domestic fixtures. They have opened up to a 3-point gap at the top of the table ahead of AC Milan. And the statistics look pretty promising too, as Napoli averaged 2.4 goals per game from 3.3 key chances per 90, defensively solid, only conceding 0.8 goals per game. This being said, they do only have 4 clean sheets in 11 matches, and this does suggest a slight amount of defensive vulnerability in the last few matches. And in fact, both teams to score has happened in 6 of their last 8 games. Sassuolo are the visitors here, following a 2-1 victory against Hellas Verona. Sassuolo have a healthy mix of results to this point in the year, and they sit 9th place in the division with 4 wins, 3 draws, and 4 defeats. Statistically, Sassuolo average 1.3 goals per game from 1.7 key chances created. They're also conceding at a clip of 1.2 goals per game. No clean sheets in their last 3 matches. When we look at the head-to-head records, there is a good mix of results, but one thing that does seem consistent is over 2.5 goals. That result has come in each of the last 3 games, with both teams scoring in 5 of the last 7. Using the averages as guidance, we are expecting around about the 2.8 goal mark, and we're thinking we can push this to at least 3. So we're going to go for over 2.5 goals in a single for the first bet. Bet number 2 sees 19th place Lecce hosting 8th place Juventus. Lecce come into this game following a 2-0 loss at the hands of Bologna. The hosts are now winless in each of their last 4 competitive fixtures. Additionally, Lecce have not been able to keep a clean sheet in each of their last 13 matches. This record dates back to the end of last season. The hosts average 0.8 goals per game from 1.1 key chances. Defensively, not terrible but not great, 1.3 goals against. Juventus are the visitors here in matchday 12, following another loss on the continent, this time at the hands of Benfica. The old lady will now be fighting against the Israeli side Maccabi Haifa, for a chance of qualification for the Europa League. However, domestically things are going a little bit better. Juventus have won each of their last 2 league games and may be starting to turn things around. Juventus average 1.6 goals per game from 2.4 key chances per 90. Defensively, well, frankly it's a mess. They do concede an average of 2.2 goals against. And as with Lecce, no clean sheets this year. Looking at the head-to-head records, there is no recent history, but Juventus are unbeaten in each of the last 4 encounters. You do have to go back to February of 2011 for the last time Lecce picked up a single point against Juventus. I'm hopeful that Juve can continue their run of good form and beat a side in the relegation zone, although it is away from home. I feel like we're getting decent odds to back the old lady on the road, and that's what we're going to do in our second bet. We're going to bring things to a close here with 20th place Cremonese hosting 6th place Udinese. Table propping Cremonese are coming into this game following a loss against fellow strugglers Sampdoria by 1-0. This does mean that Cremonese are still yet to win a single game in Serie A, and they appear destined to return to Serie B at the end of the season. Cremonese score a poor 0.8 goals per game from 1.4 key chances created. They do concede an average of 2 goals against with just a single clean sheet to their name. Udinese are on a bit of a downturn as they did lose recently by 2-1 against Torino, and they are winless in each of their last 4 competitive matches. Udinese do average 1.8 goals per game, which actually outperforms their 1.6 key chances created per 90, so perhaps a slip in form down the table is not a shock. Defensively, they're not too bad. They concede 1.1 goals per game. With no head-to-head records to go on, we must make a judgment from the stats listed above. Udinese are the team for me here, and one quirk to this selection is when Udinese are the away side and priced at 1.85, they're expected to win 54% of the time. In fact, when at this price, they have won 99% of games. Udinese in a single is going to wrap things up in this episode. There we have it, 3 selections for us in this week to wrap up October, and we start things off on the Saturday afternoon. Napoli host Sassuolo, and we're going to be taking over 2.5 goals. The odds are looking a bit short right now, to be honest. I hope that drifts close to the 0.55, 0.6 range. If not, I still feel fairly confident in taking this on for hopefully a £9.40 pickup. Juventus against Lecce. Juventus at pretty much even money as the away side. £20 stake to return 19.80. And finally on the Sunday afternoon, Udinese will hopefully beat Cremonese. Odds of 0.89, £20 stake to return 17.80. So across 3 bets, we will be risking £60 to hopefully pick up 47. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune in to next episode. But if you did make it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below. My name's been Nerdy Lover, and as always, have yourself a lovely day.